breast cancer affects 1 in 8 women in their lifetimes. So that means that there are a lot of women affected by breast cancer. And that's why research is so important, because the results can be very widespread to a large population of women.
I agree with Dr. Simpson. Throughout the generations, breast cancer patients were some of the first ones to stand up and say, we want better research, we want to participate in clinical trials. And a lot of the cancer paradigms and how we think about managing cancer came from breast cancer research. And breast cancer treatment has become much more personalized, and we owe that to breast cancer patients. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach to all patients anymore.
Our patients are very well educated too. So they'll actually come to me with a list of questions or a list of trials and ask if they would be eligible for any of these studies. They also drive a lot of the questions that we're asking ourselves now. Is it possible to potentially de-escalate some of the treatments while maintaining their outcomes? So those are really critical areas of research.
Yeah, and breast cancer patients, to Dr. Simpson's point, are the first ones to say, well, can we omit this hormone therapy? Can we omit radiation? I don't want to go through all this. And it got some doctors scratching their heads saying, well, I wonder if we can. And some of these clinical trials going on now were based upon patient questions.
I love the Maltby Breast Center. We are in the community, we're in Westlake, and I think it has that community personalized feel to it. When we see new patients, we almost embrace them like family. We try to take care of them. We check in on them often. We try to deliver the same level of care to them as we would our own family and friends. I think that's what sets us apart.
The Maltby Breast Center is the first spot on a female cancer journey where she comes in with her loved ones, her family, and hopefully she has good news and a negative screen and she goes on with her life. But that is her first touch point and first memory of her cancer journey. And if we make it right, that will set the stage for the entire cancer journey and to good survivorship and good overall outcomes.
We're really blessed to have a lot of experts in their fields. Our radiation doctors are phenomenal. They're always looking at new, innovative ways to deliver care and treatment to patients. Our radiologists are phenomenal, and that's really where a lot of the breast cancer journey starts. We need radiologists that are able to pick up on these subtle differences so that we're able to detect cancers at its earliest stage so the patients have the best opportunity for cure.
The Maltby Breast Center here at St. John is really one of the community jewels. The mayor knows about it, community leaders know about it, and God forbid, if you are diagnosed with breast cancer, going through the Maltby Breast Center, we have some of the country's best surgical oncologists, radiation oncologists, medical oncologists, plastic surgeons, radiologists to care for you. And I think that's very important to know that it's here, it's close to home, and you don't need to go anywhere else. And they're the ones devising the new standards of care for the future. We have a lot of National Cancer Institute sponsored research. We intend to have more. And the goal is to spread that research and that capability throughout the health system, throughout the entire Northeast Ohio region.
I think a lot of the big questions in research for breast cancer are personalized care and potentially de-escalating therapies for certain patients. Currently at UH, we have some studies going on right now looking at possibly omitting radiation for certain groups of patients. And so that's something I really think we'll see in the future, is how can we still deliver excellent outcomes while minimizing any treatment-related side effects.
I think that's a great point. I think in the future, we used to think virtually all women that had a lumpectomy would need postoperative radiation. That might be so in the future, but it could also be that certain women will need radiation, others won't. Some will need a certain dose, others won't. Some will need hormonal therapy, others won't. And even the surgery might change in the future as well. I think what we've learned as oncologists is that cancer is becoming what things like asthma and arthritis and COPD were decades ago. It's becoming a chronic illness. I think when I first started medical school, if you got cancer, it was almost a death sentence. I tell anybody now, even if it comes back, we'll be able to retreat it again. And there are some cancers that are still very lethal, but most cancers are becoming converted to a chronic illness, so we just manage it like diabetes, like asthma, like arthritis. When there's a flare-up, we take care of it, we move on.
I think we're learning a lot about how to treat breast cancer, but I still think we're in our infancy in learning how cancer starts. And I think that really starts from a lot of environmental factors that we're only just now becoming keen to. Things like our nutrition, things like what we cook with, what we bake with, what we wear. And all these things have an effect down at the cellular level for why breast cancer even starts. So while I think that the research has been critical in improving outcomes and treating it, I think the new dawn of research is going to be, how do we stop these cancers from even forming? There's a lot of information about how sugar causes inflammation down at the
You bet.
biochemical pathway.
Yeah.
And inflammation of any sort is really how a lot of diseases begin, cancer or other systemic issues. You know, there's several different prominent people in social media and that have a platform that discuss that, and I think it's really an important tool in not only preventing but treating cancer as well.